Pardon me?
I've noted down a few of the categorization.
Hmm. Go on, talk it out.
Right. So the first one, I think, Nitya, you talked, or Parvati, you talked about ego as one of them. Then I also identified the fears, which are many. It could be fear of failure, or fear of humiliation, or fear of discovering inadequacies.
Hmm.
Uh, then anything which is unidentified as well. Don't know what you're going to face if you're going to address it.
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty. Then other aspects of uh, maybe self confidence, uh, losing the comfort zone, as some of them.
Yeah. I I also have got similar list. I've got
Hmm.
ego, desires, disappointments, expectations, jealousy, greed, anger, negative self-talking, victimization, laziness, complacency, familiarity, anxiety, fears of all kinds, and self-doubts.
Hmm.
So I think in retrospective, some of these are active ones, some of these are passive ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like anger is very vindictive, or it's very active. It's an active emotion. While if you're looking at laziness, it's like a passive emotion.
Passive aggressive.
Mhm. So some of them push you forward in maybe a wrong direction. Some of them pull you back as well.
All right.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I would add, I
Hmm.
would all these I would put under mind, the
Hmm.
I-ness.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Then also, of course, it is the mind only, but the languages and relationships.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships and language. They are
Pardon?
very relationships and language
Yeah.
very critical.
Mm.
Because most of the issues,
Mm.
or most of the so-called trees to be cut in our life are connected with relationships. It could be intimate relationships or neighborhood relationships, hmm, or so-called official relationships. So other than that, what other trees are to be cut? Normally, much less.
Mm.
You want to go to a particular tree to go collect some fruits, and there could be some difficulties, but you go there and you try to get it, or you don't get it. Okay, you can perhaps drop the girl. But dropping the girl of issues related to relationships would be extremely complex. In the current organizational situation, your very work is likely to be very challenging, increasingly challenging.
It is.
But for the normal uh, grassroots level or support system level, they are all relatively free.
Mm.
But in managerial position, supervisory position, or leadership position, it will be increasingly tough. If you are in charge of a project, or if you are in charge of people, or if you are in charge of getting new clients, etc., 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 you compare that to the tree or the animal.
Mm.
Hmm?
It is the tree, and everything surrounding it is the animal. Mm.
There are the animals only.
Mm.
Hmm.
Cutting the tree is equivalent to the journey of your life only.
Mm.
This kind of disturbances are the animals.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this new animal in life.
So in that sense, the parable is rather at a standstill, just when.
Hmm.
For instance, if the intent of the woodcutter was to kill the animal,
No.
then
No,
if it was,
Then the life will be gone in that effort.
that's very interesting. The intent was not to get rid of the disturbance. Of course, it was there in the beginning, but finally they had to refrain from that intent. There are organizational situations or life situations where strange animals are attacked in your regular flow of cutting, your regular flow of life. What will you do? What will you suggest somebody else to do?
Does it matter after 5 years?
What?
Mm. Did he surrender or did he give up?
Pardon me?
Did the woodcutter surrender or did he give up? He gave up. No?
No, no, he gave up, not surrendering. He did not surrender. He
He
gave
did
up.
not surrender. He
Yeah.
gave up.
Yeah. It is giving importance to something that you didn't intend to.
Mm.
Like how Don Yuan said, um, nobody has said anything so important that I will get angry.
Mm.
Yeah. Animal is not disturbing to that extent that I cannot continue cutting, right?
Hmm.
Mhm. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, think. Go on reflecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I concluded is even to think why that animal is coming
Hmm.
is an ego of the mind. It's better just to surrender.
Surrender to what? To whom?
I don't know. I am not even thinking. That is surrender for me. I'm not thinking. I'm not trying to find a logic. That is surrender.
no, I think just to extend on what you're saying, Parvati. So many days he went, he cut the trees, he came back unhindered, right? So on certain day or certain times, these satori's appear.
Yeah.
But I
Hmm.
think somehow each person has to find ways to manage it. The natural reaction is try to go after the satori.
Yes.
And
Until it is disappearing.
yeah, and somewhere along the line, the risk is you lose focus on what was the original intent,
Yeah.
which was as a
Hmm.
woodcutter.
At least peripherally, it is possible to practice that. Um, not to bother about the story, but I think I don't know how long if the woodcutter had Satori still in his mind when while he was cutting the wood. Was it an instant surrender or an instant give up or uh,
No, I think uh,
he
everything.
was yep.
He did not ignore the satori in the beginning because I think on a natural scenario it is not possible to ignore it. But
Mm,
somewhere
it is still
along the
there.
line,
Yeah.
he developed that either that competency or that acceptance or a focus back to what was the original intent. So I think finally along the way we will all find the satori, and
Mm.
whether it's a small satori, big satori, multiple satoris.
It's a practice. I have a similar situation in my office where I thought I won't go next day, and then I still went. I still went. I still faced that person, and it was not that that animal has completely gone away from the mind, but I stayed with that. And the next day, I went and saw her in her office also, had a dialogue and everything. But I felt I was an imposter somehow until it is completely gone.
And sometimes the Satori also may come across as a blessing, I think, because when you find it's impossible to kill the Satori,
Mm,
then you are brought back to what was the original intent.
mm,
Then that Satori doesn't matter anymore, or it is not of consequence. So you do a course correction of the intent.
mm,
Because maybe going after the Satori could be uh, something which, from maybe a workplace perspective, is a common norm. But what your original objective was maybe different.
mm. I I don't know. Something that I do is I expand my scope, and then that problem becomes like a small. Like, okay, thinking my problem in relation to the problem that the prime minister is facing, or somebody else is having a, like, who is put in the feudal chief's house, and then somebody made a big noise and left. So what would be their day? What would be their way of solving the thing? So I kind of relate in that aspect. So then it becomes like the my mine is like a speck of the dot or something.
Mhm. Yeah, compared to the master thief,
Yeah,
the
and
woodcutter has it a little more lightly.
yeah, and the Khalil Gibran has explained it so well that he said the hunter and the hunted is same in some ways. The way that I'm hunting you, I'm also being hunted by somebody. Like for us, maybe the CEO is a big person, but then he is actually chased by the government regulations, and he is actually fighting. Like, he's just another CEO in front of the government officials who is actually making the decisions. And for the government officials, okay, the prime minister is there, that but the prime minister is facing the criticism because there was a shooting in somewhere, and then he's responsible for that. So how do he formulate a response for that? So that'll be a bigger problem for them. And then in the global scale, like, so many other problems are happening. So in the big scheme of things, does it really matter? So, but it's not easy to come across that kind of balance so quickly. It will, as I said, like, I had a very vocal kind of situation, and then next day when I went I went to the office, I thought I won't go, but I just went anyway, and just as cool as I could be. But it is still in the back of my mind, like it was not completely dropped. Yeah, as Bhavati said, like, in the relationships and languages, it creates more problem than anything else. It may not be even, it generates emotions, but the language people use, and I mean, you can sense when you are a very sensitive person, you can sense even without the language, the energy, and the vibe you can actually sense, and then you get disturbed by that. Yeah, so it is a challenge, and
But do you really think that discussion from this parable or in a real advantage, in a real benefit?
definitely, definitely,
Significantly, sir. Even the
significantly.
even the randomness is sometimes very amazing.
Mm,
That's what is the concept of randomness? Come on,
Here,
tell me.
because when you asked about the parables, I was thinking about what my scenario is, and I was thinking of the master cook. But Nitya chose the woodcutter, but then I realized that it is much more apt a scenario. So rather than I making a choice, the randomness brought in a much more relevant one.
True.
sure.
And Nitya's choice of this parable is beautiful in many ways. We
Yes.
began by saying double. Okay.
And I have been thinking this question on my mind for past 1 week. That's why I could come up with language relationship. And it's the same question that is asked you.
And also the story of Hanuman. mm, How we determined the mother
Yeah.
and going to what you call tame the extreme power of the son of Shiva. It was extremely powerful. but no systematic way to find expression to that. So she thought of approaching some rishi. Apparently, it was Nagarjuna only, and he suggested a concoction that will cover his mind, the body, and spirit, with which he works. And though almost all the cities mentioned in the corners of Patanjali or in the
Yeah,
corner.
The
that is what came, and then the so-called I and ego start thinking, why that tree, why new tree every now and then.
I don't want this tree.
Yeah, I don't want why me, why I get this tree.
changing the goalpost.
Even little trees may appear. For example, right now in the dog's barn, it was actually apparently a mad lady in the location. He came in shouting at me, calling me some names also, that I let loose the dogs to attack her.
Oh,
In your arms.
And she said if I don't do something, she will show me. She will, no, I can't like, no, something she shouted it and she left. So I was wondering if she goes out and tell the people in the village that if I did it actually, then what would they think? So
who is she? Is she a newcomer there?
I have never seen her before actually.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, the
Yeah,
all the
but her
people
looks,
around you must be knowing you now.
yeah, yeah, but her looks, that's a point. But her looks and the way she had worn the sari and her body type and the way of actions, her expressions and responses and behaviors, it clearly indicated a potential lack of control, kind of a loose
Hmm.
mind. Yeah, okay, that's by way of example. But I have a question in between. If the woodcutter had the intent to kill the animal, what are the possibilities?
Hmm. He may not be able to finish the cutting the tree, of course.
Point number one, yeah.
And that
And before
that
that, what would before
Ye-
that, why he, no, that is secondary. First thing, what would be the first consequence?
con-
Inaction,
Hmm?
time.
no action.
Pardon me?
time.
Time. He would spend all his time.
Yeah, first consequence to him,
He would be still, no action.
he would be,
Still, no action. He would.
okay, okay, that's a little orbitronance. He would get so tired and completely exhausted.
Yes.
Yeah.
If he went after that, yes. The thoughts are also like that. It can drain you when
Yeah.
when you overthink on something
So
beyond
that's
a
what,
limit.
yeah,
It.
secondarily, as Nitya said, his thoughts. He thought he could easily defeat it,
Mm,
and he tried all his best. So his power about himself, so-called self-doubt about how self was found incompetent to kill a small animal.
mm,
So this was a terrible moment of defeat for him. Secondly, second, and third, of course, as Nitya said, the task or the purpose of his coming to the forest on that day could not be achieved. So three critical consequences had he tried to kill the animal. He got emotionally sort of obsessed or attached to uh, kill the animal. But the animal is disturbing you. Then what to do? Of course, we think there are situations where you can continue despite whatever approaches approaches of the animal. Okay, if you continue,
mm.
um, where will you continue? If you continue writing the parable, adding a few more lines, what would be your next lines?